tools, example plotting and analysis tools that are available in extension. So there are three main menus for target exploration. First is surface mapping, second is DH data, that is drill hole data, and the third one is DH plot, that is a drill hole plot. So as you can see, the menu list of three menus of exploration, it's look like a manual basically. So as you can see the surface mapping, you can visualize import data, then after importing we provide the coordinates. After providing coordinates, we can able to create a base map and new map. Then you can do symbols, gradings, contours. You can use the GIS tools, you can use the CAD tools also. Then in drill hole data, you can create a drilling project where you can import and export. You can do the QA/QC of your drill hole data. You can create a composite database. Then you can add new borehole. You can edit new drill holes. You can create a lithological rock port file. Then in DS plot, you can create a section map, stack maps, fence diagram, street blocks, that many more, and you can also able to create a 3D map that we will explain in detail in the demonstration part. Now, after entering a data in the Geosoft target, the Geosoft database is looking like what you are visualizing in the figure. It's rows and columns. It's like just Excel, so that the first line will be the header and the second is your data. Then you can also able to create a profile window. So this is basically a geophysical data we can process here, geology as well as geophysics data. So you can create a profile window that shows a graphical representation of your data in the Geosoft database, and the profile appears directly below the corresponding database in a profile window. Then you can interpolate the data in the database so that you can correct your database, or you can check manually. So whether because at some points maybe we are uh, picked up wrongly, so that we can delete it and we can create or make a profile a smooth and data free of error. Then we can also able to plot a survey lines, so along which survey we are creating, so that kind of survey lines we can easily plot here in the Geosoft target. Then we can also able to create a grids. Here you can create a single grid or multiple grids together, and there are various type of grading methods you can use here. The geostatistical method like rigging, by using variogram you can create a very accurate grid of your data. Then minimum curvature is there, then triangulation method is there. So that kind of various grading methods are very useful. And also you can create multiple grids, and you can create a multi-grid composites also. Then target can be helpful to create a contour maps. So there are a contour map for a basic interpretation. You can use a quickly contouring method, or you can create on your contouring method, so that you can put the specific value of contour. So accordingly it will be create that kind of contour map, and this method generates a default contour based on the value of your data. Then as you can see the two windows, so here you can compare your grading method, uh, display for comparison. So if you are having a data and you are creating a grid by two different methods, let's say first is on the right is minimum curvature, and the next one is by rigging. So you can compare both the grid together, and the thing the important thing is that that is a dynamic linking here. So if you zoom one window, the another will be automatically zoom at the same point. So you can check at the same point by different methods, so you can minimize the error and get the accurate data. So that comparison you can do here in Geosoft target. Then we can add a proposed borehole. So if you have XY location, planned XY location, so on that basis you can add a borehole. Otherwise you can add in 3D also, you can plan their borehole. Then we can create a plan map easily with respect to topographical grid as a background. As you can see the figure, this is the topographical plan map. with the color scale bar of topography, and you can see the holes plotted, the total wells available, total boreholes in the plan. You can see the scale and north arrow. The scale and north arrow is editable with respect to uh, our requirement. Then we can able to create a plan map for the boreholes. As you can see the figure, the, this plan map shows us a lithology, a borehole wise lithology you can see, and the small circle are the stereonet diagram of your structural data. So that is also you can easily interpret that. And on the right you can see the legend with respect to your color codes and labels and descriptions. So that kind of plan map we can create very easily. And on the plan map you can easily interpret, you can easily visible the geology as well as structural data all together. We can add a grid also here. Then we can create a section map in Geosoft target. So as you see can as you can see the figure, the below portion is the section map with the grid, and the topmost rectangular is the plan map. So along which direction you create a section, that is also you can easily visible, as well as the cross section. You can see the lithology as well as the grid. So it help us to interpret. Uh, we can do a correlation of in the cross section, so that we can demarcate mineralized zone very quickly. So that is very helpful, the gridding in the cross section. This is the more enlarged view of a section. You can see the pink color shows the high concentration of gold. These are all boreholes are angular boreholes. Then we can create a stack section. So stack section basically you can create multiple section in a one single page, so that when you visualize three or four section together of your area, so you can easily interpret the subsurface geology, how the lithology is behaving from one end to another, and how the grid value is also changing. So that help us the stack section. So that kind of map also we can use. Then we can also plot a structural ticks. As you can see the color ticks, these are basically a structural ticks. So structural data we need to collect during the logging. So that might be your fracture, maybe joints, maybe cleavage, maybe fault. So that we need to record with respect to the direction of a structure and the angle. Then we can also draw a trace section on the map. So along which section we create a stack section or section, so that kind of red boundary is demarcated, so that we can, when you see the plan map, so you can easily guess, okay, along this direction we are creating the sections. Then fence diagram, it provides a 2D dimensional respective view of a 3D three-dimensional data. So here you can create a 2D two-dimensional fence diagram, and fence diagram is useful for the correlation of stratigraphical correlation in the regional scale. So this is also widely useful in the mineral exploration. Then a strip log. Strip log is a very important feature of uh, with respect to mineral exploration. So here in the strip log, you can see the geophysical log, your lithology, your number of geochemical analysis, or if you have a petrophysical data, that also you can add it here. So as you can see the figure, this is a strip log of petroleum well. So you can see the geophysical log at the first from your left. The next one is the geology, and after that page, then S1, S2, TOC, permeability, porosity, core, core ID. So that kind of data we can easily add. So here I would like to give an example. If we are working in the iron ore, and we are creating a strip log. So in iron ore, you can see the geophysical log of gamma or resistivity, then lithology. Then in for iron ore exploration, we do the analysis. We do the sample analysis of Fe2O3, SiO2, Al2O3, CaO, Na2O, K2O. So that kind of all parameters you can see here, and the same all we can plot here one side by side. So we can easily compare a geophysical at one particular depth also the lithology, and also the values of silica, iron, and alumina, and other chemical analysis. So on that basis, we can easily compare all together, and we can, along with, we can also demarcate the zone whether we are getting a good quality of iron ore with respect to silicon and alumina. So that kind of comparison you can do here in the strip log. So that's why it's very useful. Then we can add the boreholes in 3D view. As you can see, this is the 3D view with the geological, the color with respect to their geology, lithological data. This is the more enlarged view of 3D projection. You, you can see the different color with respect to the lithologies. Then we can also create a contact surface in a 3D view. So you can also create a one surface for a one particular formation or one particular lithological unit, so that you can easily on the basis of your borehole data only, so you can check how the particular formation is behaving within the subsurface. So you can visualize that easily, or you can create a multiple surface also. So you can, as you can see the figure, the Deccan trap and the Gondwana top uh, easily here, the multiple contact surface. And then that 3D view we can easily export into the PDF, so that we can share with our colleagues or with our superiors, so that they can easily visualize a 3D view as a 3D PDF, and here they can zoom, they can rotate that all 3D view, so that anybody can view this all 3D model basically. Then in the target, we can create implicit modeling, that is 3D gridding. Here 3D gridding is basically a 3D voxel, so you can create a voxel very quickly, and that voxel we can clip it with respect to topography, so that below the surface we can view it easily. And you can see that the different current color shows the different grade of your ore or mineral exploration or mineral commodity for in which you are working. And that if you are working in a very regional scale, then we can narrow down, we can clip it with that area, so we can demarcate a potential area, and for detailed study or for next stage, like from G4 to G3 and G2, accordingly we can narrow down our interested area. So that is windowing voxel here. Then we can also able to create isosurface. It is an three-dimensional surface that pass through the points of equal value. So here you can create a multiple isosurface with respect to different grades, like from uh, uh, let's say for iron ore, you can create isosurface of medium grade, high grade, and low grade accordingly, according to colors. So that is also very helpful us. Then we can, in implicit modeling, we can extract the slices from voxel. So you can create a level plans also, as you can see the figure on the left. This is basically a level plan uh, of a particular for one particular mineral commodity. And also we can create a horizontal as well as vertical plans, so that is the slices we can draw easily. So in any direction you can draw, so you can visualize the section in 3D view easily, and you can compare the borehole data from one end to another, and you can check the level plans also. Then we move towards the explicit modeling. So in explicit modeling, you can create a geostring file and you can add the feature. So explicit modeling in nothing but the creation of model, 3D geological model with our own knowledge basically. So in the old times, what we do, we create a cross section on the paper, then we correlate, then we do the correlation from on the basis of assay data or on the basis of lithology by using a pencil. We are correlation that correlation. we do the correlation. So here we can do the same process, but but only the thing is change. We are using a geostring file, so we can digitize a geological feature, like you can see the polyline. So accordingly we need to create a polygon along which is we are hoping for the best getting a best formation. Maybe deposit is disseminated, maybe stratified, maybe pocket and lenses. So accordingly uh, we need to do the correlation in a digital way. So on that basis we can create a 3D geological model. So this is digitizing the geological feature. So here blue color shows they are digitized overburden for individual cross sections. Then that same thing geostring file we need to import in the 3D view. So that is viewing geostring file in a 3D viewer, and then after importing that geostring file, what we did in the cross section, then we need to use a wireframing method basically. So in the wireframing, what we do, we connect that geostrings each another to create a solid model. So that's all comes in the wireframing process. So here in the wireframing, you can create a wireframe ends, you can remove all, you can delete it, you can save, and the whatever geostring file we were creating as a 3D model, that will save as a geosurface file. So here you can see the comparison. The on the left you can see first figure, the geostring file which is imported, and on the right side you can see the wireframe is connected. Now you can see the overburden solid body together, and that geosurface it gives us a volume as well as area of that particular geosurface. So on the basis of volume, you can easily calculate the tonnage of the area. So what, because volume into specific gravity gives us a tonnage basically. So that help us to calculate the resource estimation resource. Then the Geosoft target also come with extension, that is a target with geochemistry. So those who are working in the NGCM or geochemical survey, that kind of extension is very important for them. Here you can create geochemical maps, histogram analysis. You can see the figure. These are the menus available with the geochemistry extension. You can do the multi-histogram plot. You can do the correlation, scatter analysis, multi-scatter plot, probability analysis, tri-plot analysis. Then you can do the principal component analysis here, and also tri-plot analysis. And here are the few maps of geochemical data. As you can see, uh, first figure on your left, you can see the triangular plot, the scattered plot, and the box plot also. And right, you can see again a geochemical map with a triangulation and the database. So though if you have 3 or 4 windows are open, so that windows are link up each other. So once you select the point from the database, so that same point you can easily visualize in your triangulation plot as well as in your geochemical map. So thank you very much. Now I would like to request you, you can please ask a question with respect to the software as well as geology. So we will happy to answer it, and after 10 minutes we will start a demonstration. So whatever I told you in the presentation, that all things I will be showing you as a demonstration, how you can quickly create a section, maps and plans in the Geosoft target. Thank you once again.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello, am I audible to you, sir?
Yes.
This is Ajay, sir. Ajay Jattalwar.
Yes.
Sir, you have in your presentation
Yes.
just a few moments back, you had told that target with geochemistry.
Yeah. This one.
Just how before this slide,
This one.
uh, um, another back, one more back slide.
See, target with
Yes.
geochemistry, I have 2 slides only.
Okay. So while discussing geochemistry, we are told we can, generate the number of plots like box plots, triangular diagram,
Yeah,
and I'm saying this garnet. This is for the garnet mineral. My
yeah,
question was, we um, many times we use GCD kit for this geochemical plots. There are see like tectonic discrimination diagram. So with the help
yeah,
of geochemistry, different elements, we just add the data, and after adding data, there are in-bit plots. So as per the
yeah.
data, it will show finally in which tectonic
Right,
settings
right,
your area is coming
right,
based
right,
on the element geochemistry. This element
right.
geochemistry, is there any other things in this JOSAP target so that we generate other plots like tectonic discrimination?
Sir, your voice is breaking. Actually, I heard the question. I hope I understand it.
Hello.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I got your question, sir. You can do that in the
Hmm.
Geosoft target with the geochemistry menus. The things, the like tectonic setting you can see. So here in the triplot, you can add the particular elements, or you can create like in GCE kit. There are some predefined triplot is there. So once you select your element or sample list there, so accordingly which in which triplot you wanted to display that sample, so accordingly you can get the answer. So here like you see the example of the that garnet column at the plot, right? So hello.
Hello. Yes, yes. I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I'm
and
listening.
also
Yeah.
and also you can see the if you see the window carefully, and within that image you can see the illuminate plot also.
Mhm.
Okay, so likewise here you can add that particular triangulation diagram, so that whatever tectonic setting is there, you can display, sir, that sample.
Actually, sorry to interrupt you, but from this diagram, just actually, I was. It seems to me that it is mainly for the minerals. Like there is another software, MinPet or IGPETs. There are typical softwares for the petrological classifications. So
Yeah.
based on or mineralogical classifications.
Hmm.
So my question is, like you told me that yes, we can able to do the geotectonic classification based on the different elements in GeoSoft targets. Now you told me. So one more question is that. Similar to that, there are volcanic classification. That is the classification for different rocks. Okay, so this
Okay.
classification of different rocks, can we be able to do this classification with the help of target also?
No, you cannot do the volcanic classification or igneous or sedimentary here.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay, okay,
you can only you
okay,
can access the your geochemical samples here.
okay, okay. So similarly, one more, just last question. Like geochemical anomaly maps are there. So like the
Yes.
map for gold, anomaly map for copper, anomaly map for say base metals or PG elements, the number of elements. So in
Yes.
this geosort targets, are we able to do this to generate the geochemical anomaly map?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Surely. Yeah.
oh, oh. Thank you, sir.
I will show you in the demonstration. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Thank you. Is there any other question?
Yes, you can please continue to actually have the question. Are there any benefits for angular borehole instead of straight borehole?
Uh, Itishri Parehi. Okay. Uh, uh, the benefits of angular and straight boreholes. The straight means the vertical boreholes. Uh, Sir or ma'am, uh, the angular
Hello?
borehole basically depend. Yeah.
Huh, sir.
It
You can
is. Yeah.
continue.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Okay, ma'am. Actually, depend upon the mineral deposit and their behavior uh, in the surface. So accordingly, we need to plan whether the borehole should be angular or straight. basically if the deposit like coal or limestone, we generally do the vertical boreholes, that is straight boreholes. And with respect to the like gold deposit or even in the iron ore also, so we are because the gold deposit basically are mostly found in the quartz vein, and the veins are having a one direction, some with respect to their strike or deep direction. So to get the exact thickness of a particular vein, we need to uh, drill the borehole angularly. That angle we need to decide with respect to the deep direction of the body, whether it is 45 degree or 60 degree or 35 degree or 20 degree. So that depend upon the deposit basically.
Okay, sir. I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Thank you. Is there any question? Please feel free to ask with respect to exploration or geochemistry. Okay, uh, I hope there is no question. So we'll start with the demonstration so that you can see uh, what we learn in the PPT. You can easily visualize that. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. Yeah, my screen is visible, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thanks for confirmation. So here you can see this is the main window of Geosoft target. Here, as you can see on the top, these are the list of menus like project, database, database tools, coordinates, grid and image, map tools likewise. So here geochemistry tool is not there, so we need to add these tools here. Now you can see the geochemical tools also with respect to, so these are the main tools like surface mapping as I shown in the PPT, DS data, DH plot, and geochemical. For geochemical analysis or to process a geochemical data, you can visualize uh, uh, geochemical import, geochemical maps, geochemical analysis like statistics, triplot, principal component analysis, SEM data, that is the scanning electron microscope data, which is useful for the diamond exploration mostly. So that data we can easily import and we can plot. So these are the menus. Now here, if you have or you wanted to work uh, with geophysical data, so for that in the we need to go in the database here, and we need to create a new database. So like this, so the empty database will be created like this. So this is the empty database. Now after creating a database, I would like to import a data. So open and import. There are various formats which is support by the target, like ASCII format or your simple spreadsheet, or if you have the database or Geosoft database or from the ODBC servers or shape files, shape database, that you can easily import, or if you have the USGS grid, that is also you can easily import. Amira also there. So you can, so we will use Excel spreadsheet. So for that we need to select a single sheet. So here I already did it. For the magnetics, you can see this is the magnetic data here. This is the line or one particular line, and this is the x and y values, and this is the magnetic value basically for the particular location. So on that basis we can create, first we will create a map, or we can create a grid also. So here with respect to my data I select a minimum curvature. Now we need to just select for which channel we need to create a grid. So this is magnetic data, so we'll select the mag, and we have to provide a name like 1, and then there is a grid cell options are there, so you can select, you can put the cell size, and also if you want to add more information, or so that you can get the correct grid accordingly, you can change your x and y minimum, you can change the log option also, and also you can change the blanking distance. That's all basically a geostatistical method. So according to, you must know the how, then which blanking distance, how much the blanking distance should be there. So accordingly we can put the more parameters to get more accuracy in the grid, or by default also we can get the grid. So accordingly you can see the grid. Yeah, as you can see, this is the basically a magnetic grid of your data. And now the same thing I will create by using kriging. So in kriging you can use a variogram, so that you can put the seal and nugget values. So accordingly the grid will be created. So this is the grid on the basis of kriging method. So here are, now if I select, so if I zoom one point, this point, so same point I can easily visible in my another window. So you can see here, this is by using a kriging here, and on the left you can see this is by using minimum curvature method. So that we have to decide which is best suit with respect to our data. So here I can see the smooth contours of different with respect to different values, and here I can see we are not seeing a smooth contours. So accordingly we can select a gridding method. So, and the important thing, that is the key feature, the dynamic linking. So here we link the both window together. So if I zoom one, so accordingly another will be zoomed at the same point, so we can easily compare together. So that is the very important feature. So accordingly we can compare gridding methods and choose a correct method accordingly. So this is how we can create a grid. And now we can create a map. So we will use the map tools here. So first we will create a new map. So in the new map it will ask us option. So for the new map our dataset should be open. So with the help of dataset it will scan the minimum x and minimum y. Just scan the dataset accordingly, and then go for next. oh sorry, map tools. First we will create a base map. We need to scan the data. Next, we need to provide a name. So this is the mag data, mag map. We can use the paper size. So accordingly, the scale will be selected, or otherwise, you can select the your scale, and then with respect to paper size, we need to select accordingly. Then simply click OK. So it will create a map, basically the empty map. Now we'll create a base map. So here we can change the scale again, and the margin also you can change. Then click on next. Then if you wanted to add additional information with respect to the reference grid, it should be solid lines, so that we can change here. So I will choose the process. Spacing we can change, the line color we can change. There are multiple options you can change here, or simply click next. Then their map title box is there, so you can give the more information, like who is the client, map title. If you added more information in the form of text, so that also you can add it, and the map creator, so that all you can. So this is all qualities of basically creating a professional map. So here you can see this is the blank map. Now we will insert a grid, so you can just simply drag it here. So you can see that grid is there, or otherwise you can go grid and image, display on map. You need to select a particular grid. I'll select the apply shadow, so you can see the 3D view and the color bar also. So now it will ask me where you want a color bar. I think there is some. Okay. So now we will import data, display on map, select the grid. Then we need to select a grid which we are created. Hold on, there is some technical issues. So I will start once again. Just a minute. Yes, I hope my screen is visible to you all. So now I just created a new fresh project, and
Yes.
then now we will import our data again. Let's see spreadsheet.
So if you can record these steps, sir,
Yeah.
it
The
will be
step
very
is recording. Yeah, the webinar is all is recorded. We will send it
nice.
a feedback link. There you can mention. So we will send it to you.
Thank you, sir.
Let me check. Just we need to. So here the XYZ file. Okay. Okay. So here you can see the that magnet data. Then again we need to set the XYZ. So this is my X, this is my Y. Let's say okay. Now you can see the highlighted. Now we need to provide a coordinate system. After that, to set the coordinate system. So this is data from Australia basically. So GDA 94 and map zone 50. Display map zone 50. Yeah. So accordingly, now as I already show you how to create a grid. Now again I will show you. We will create by a minimum curvature or MAC data. So MAC minimum. Okay. The grid is created. Now we will create a new map. So scan the data set. So accordingly it will scan automatically. Then we have to put a name. So MAC map. You can change the paper size. You need to scale is there. To finish it up. Then go to map tools. Create a base map. So here also you can change the scale with respect to here. Few options are there. You can change solid lines or crosses. I will select this. Then you can add more information like map as in a map title box. So you can see the client, map title, map creator, or more. So that kind of blank map is created now with respect to, and the thing that you can north arrow you want to move here, scale bar you can see here. You can increase their sizes also. So accordingly, so whatever we requirement we can adjust here. Now we will insert a grid. So display on map, we select the grid, we will select that particular grid and apply a shadow and current map. So you can see Now it will ask me a color toolbar. I just select. You can see the so this is a 3D view, not 3D view, it's a 2D map. You can see the color shadow, so it's look like a 3D view of a particular grid. So accordingly, that you can check the anomalous zone where you are getting high values of magnetite. This is the data of geophysical magnetite data. So with respect to that, if you have a gravity data, that also you can process in the same way, and you can create a gravity uh, gravity map basically. So and here you can use CAD tools so that you can create a polyline file. So now, because after that this is the very regional area, now I want to select some portion of possible portion to getting a deposit or mineral formation. So accordingly I need to demarcate some area. So by using polyline tool I can use that. So potential area, new file. Okay, so now I need to just draw a polygon accordingly, so that I can select now go to map tool and apply and view mask. So it will ask that polyline. So yes, now you can see that particular area within the map. Now you can extract that particular area as a database, and you can create a new map, and then again you can change the variation between only that particular area. So accordingly, that this is the way you can create a map here in the GeoSoft target, or basically you can process a geophysical data also. Now the thing we can do the channel math also here. The channel tools, you can copy the channel. So these are the basically the vertical are the channel. So you can use the mathematics also, it's similar to the Excel where you can insert the formulas and all together. So that kind of channel math you can do here. So here I can, so here you need to insert your expression, and accordingly you can get the result on a new channel. And one more thing is you can georeference the image. You can change the coordinate system from one system to another, and there is some utility map also. So you can window a grid, sample a grid, save a grid as a database. So if you have a grid and you want a database, so that also you can easily comport. You can do here. Then in map tools you can import a various AutoCAD, DXF file, RGS files, RGS layers, data mine, Surpack. So these are the basically mining softwares. So that file also very much supported in the GeoSoft target. Now we will move toward the drill hole data. So for drill hole data, we need to create a new empty project. So for that, we need to provide a name. So after providing name, it will be again open a blank window like we see in database. Then after that, you need to go and select a database basically. So accordingly, within the one Excel sheet, if you have geological data, color data, survey data, assay data, structural data of the drill hole of all borrows data, so accordingly that you can easily import here at once. So after importing, you can see it will be uh, see you can see the different sheets here. So this is sample data basically. It's having 300 boreholes. This is the gold exploration. This is the color data, and this is assay data. So this is for you are seeing for one borehole. See here you can see the list. So if you select one particular hole, you can see the all from to and AU value and arsenic value, and also the data sets are linked another. So this is the assay, this is the geology data, this is the structural data, this is the survey data. So this is also a borehole wise. You need to just select from the list. So this is a survey data basically. So after importing data, now we can create a plan. So go to DS data, new project. You can do the QAQC also of your data. So QAQC, you can see you can data type. So you want to check the color data. Basically, QAQC help us to verification or to check the data whether whatever data we are importing it is correct or not. Because if you are entering data in the Excel or any database by manually, there may be a chance to get an error. So that small error we need to find out here, because otherwise what's happen when you are writing some coordinates and if you miss one digit or one point, so that coordinate will be changed very drastically. So that kind of thing we need to find out. So in the color data there is options. So you can, I will show you the option. It says there is no problem detected in the color data. I would like to show the options. So here are the options basically. You can see the dummy. If there is a duplicate location, it will be say, if you say yes, so it will be notify you. If there is a duplicate locations, deep, out of range, because deep having a deep must be below 90. So azimuth range should be below 360. So accordingly, it will check the all data or color information, and if there is error, it will be displayed as a report. Then we need correct things in the raw Excel, and then again we have to import. Similarly, we can do QAQC of from to data. So from to data, we're having geology or assay. So for that, oh sorry, just a minute, I click on OK. So it gives me an error. So within this borehole, you can see the missing from to interval from the whole top. So that kind of error it gives us. So if because sometimes our data is more or less similar like that, but if you want to correct the things, you can correct it. There is option of QAQC here. For the from to data, you can see from equals to 2, that should not be happen. From is greater than 2. If there is something like that within your data, so it will be notify you. A duplicate from to intervals, it also shows you. So missing interval, अगर कुछ miss हो गया है, so that also think software will notify you, and then you need to check that data again. Because while we are doing this QAQC, once you import the data, then whatever plans and sections or model will be created, that should be accurate. So very much clear that you should import a correct data by doing QAQC. Now we will create a plan map. So go to plot, then simple click plan map. So now you can see the options. I will show you one by one. So page layout, you need to select a particular page and a scale. So with respect to paper size, scale is changes. Then legend if you want. So click on like this. Then a plan location if you want to change something, or otherwise you can go with the default one. Then in color, you can change the symbol of a borehole. Here you can change the size, different patterns, anything. Just you need to change uh, symbol font, so it will be changed. You can change the thickness of there. You can change feel, color, size, like this. If you have a particular zone symbol, so that also we can display. Then hold traces. Hold traces is helpful when your borehole is having a particular azimuth, is not vertical. So in that case, you can see the hold traces as a trace. And in the data, so in the plan map, what we would like to visualize, as I show in the PPT on a plan map. If you remember, you can visualize there geology as well as the structural data as a stereo nets. So that data we need to add here. Then if you have a grid, you can display it and just simply click OK. No zone file was defined from the zone. Okay. So accordingly, it will create a plan map like this, basically. So here you can see the zoom. So this green color shows lithology and that structural data of that particular hole, and here also you can see the index in detail with respect to the symbol. So Ca is aluminum deposition, likewise Mb is basalt, M is mafic rock, and this is the structural symbols because each and every ball having different color. So accordingly, uh, with respect to the label of structural data like S fabric, cold axis plane, fracture or joint set, fault plane, sharp contact. So that kind of structural data is displayed in the form of stereo net. And you can see this is the borehole deviation. So few boreholes are in a curvature nature. So that also, that thing you can easily display within your plan map. Now we will create a cross section. So cross section, you need to select a section, and again here in page layout, the same thing what we see in the plan map. You need to select the paper size, get auto scale, legend if you want. You can add your company logo also by selecting a name, by selecting a logo file. Then go to section. Then you can create a section east, west, north, south, or angular direction. Here you can see the east, west. Here actually the borehole azimuth is in east, west direction. So we will create a section along this only. Or if your data is angular, you can create angular section or not, or north south section accordingly. Then color data should be having some symbol. Then hole traces is the same thing. Then in data, so within the cross section, what we would like to visualize. So here we need to define a color code file. That file we need to create it here itself, and assay and the AU values with respect to the bar plot it will show me now. And the topography, so if I must have a topography grid. So and that grid we can generate on the basis of RL data. So that grid we can use here very easily. Now go to section, now define. So now define, so we need to just single click, we need to draw. Oh, actually the number of section is 4. That's why you can create a 4 section directly. So here I am selecting a section line. Now I selected, so and just simply click OK. Now you can see the cross section. With respect to the paper size, I think the boreholes not come, so we will go again, go to section, we change the page layout, say OK. Yes, now you can see this is the plan map and the section, and within the section you can see the lithology with respect to blue, this color, and that different color bar shows a gold value. You can see the index, that range from 0.01 to 10. So accordingly you need to create a section for each and individual lines. Like you can see the plan map here. So we need to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like this, we need to create a multiple section to generate the model. So here we are creating a few sections, and each section you can see the value of gold here. So here I can easily demarcate or easily understand is that, so this is my overbody direction accordingly. So because here I am getting a higher value, so when I select this area, that may be a chances of getting a or I can select like this. So here we need to do a correlation, that is we can create a geostring file that we will come later. First we will finish up with the other stack sections. So now in the stack section, map must be open. Same thing, the page layout and the data sets, section location. So stack section we need to create, let's say 4, then define. Now it is 4. So selection is very important. Now select OK. You can see that for cross section together. So I think I didn't insert the data. Okay, not to worry. We'll go bhplot section. Go to data set. We will add data. Data we need to select the rock geology. Then rock geology should be in rock pattern. We need to define a file. That is the lithological code file. Then AU in the form of bar and zone file. Okay. You can see that 4 section together. So here you can easily interpret from this location to this location where you are getting good values of gold, and you can see the direction is more or less same from all the section. So that is very help us to interpretation, and we need to select a appropriate paper size and the scale, so that we can visual correctly. At the same time you can see the RL also, so in which section and at what RL you are getting a particular overbody or high grade or low grade mineralization, that also you can easily interpret here from the cross section. Then we move toward the fence diagram. So here friends, you can select the borrow list, or you can draw from the selection tool. So here you can select one by one also, define a trace like this. So according to which direction you need to create a trace, that you have to decide, and then simply click OK. And here also we need some data so that we can display. So rock, here we will use geology polygons. Again same lithological file we need to define. Okay, so where global and legend. Okay, open. And also I can visualize the gold values again. AU in the form of bar. Now you can see the fence diagram. So here you can see the correlation between the lithology. Actually in these borrows you can see they are very small depth, you don't have, and you can see the trend of mineralization easily. So accordingly, we can create a fence diagram, and there is an option of north arrow and all. I think I didn't check it. So here in the page that we are here you can change the scale or mention the scale accordingly. You can change the map layout also. There are few options. You can change the margin, profile. If you want put the topography, that also you can do. Just select topo grid. So here we have a topo grid, topography. Now you can see the same fence diagram with respect to your all data sets. You can see this is my selection, and with respect to index and the scale, and this is a topography. So accordingly, we can create a fence diagram very quickly and very informative. Now we'll go towards the geostring file. So here we need to create a geostring. So for geostring, our cross section must open this. Here you can visualize the boreholes and a thing. Now one more thing is that we can add a grid here also, so that we can easily demarcate the ore zone, or on the basis of lithology or bar value we can easily demarcate it. So for that we need to first create a new geostring file. So geostring file, it is your interpretation. So I will provide name interpretation one. Now here we need to add a feature which need to be digitized. So here I have three feature. One is overburden, that is in the form of polygon. That here we can change the pattern. We have some objects here, so according to we can change the color, and there are number of patterns are there with respect to object hatches. That all comes with a different lithological also. We can use it. Map info hatches is there. So here now I'm selecting overburden. It is in blue color. Click OK. Line should be blue. Click OK and add. Now overburden is added. Now I will add iron ore formation, because here sample data is the iron ore. Sorry, the gold values is getting only in the iron ore. So we will add iron ore formation. This is also polygon. This is I will draw in the red. Okay. You can also add a description with respect to that formation. Here we can add some text, and then we can add number of features also. So here itself you can edit, because later you could not be edit. So here itself you can edit and click OK. So now you can see the new menu option is open with respect to geostring, that is interpretation properties all. Now we will digitize the feature, so you have to click it here. Then likewise we do in old time the cross section correlation. So here, as I can see, the gold values are very much promising here. Here I can see small. So accordingly I can draw my cross section like this, where I am getting a gold value in a higher level. So here with respect to this I can draw my cross section. So that type of digitization we can do here, or once you miss something, or one more thing is that now I digitize the iron ore formation. We will digitize the overburden. So we need to select what we digitize first with respect to different geology. And here you can see so here I can snap also. Snapping with respect to geology I can do. So snap to geology, so it will be get me that geological point automatically. So snapping to this also there. Now snap to topo. So with respect to topography line, it will be snapped automatically. So this is the way how I can correlate my ore bodies, different ore bodies or different mineral formation, because the more accuracy you did here while creating a cross section or while creating a geostring file, that same accuracy will be you can get in your resource estimation. And the same thing we need to follow with respect to all cross sections, whichever we have in our area. Might be 10, might be 5, might be 2, 3. You can also draw small bodies here like this. What this is overburden. Now that also we can change. If you did mistakenly, you just go to the manage geostring and just select iron formation. Okay, sorry. Here we need to select, and here uh, setting. This is overburden iron formation. Now you can see this is the red color. So this comes in a different uh, formation. So that kind of bodies also we can easily add. The same thing we need to add in the we need to create for all sections likewise. Then after doing that, we will go into 3D view. So click the 3D, we will new it. You have to provide a name here. So here I am providing a name. Okay. Now you can see the blank 3D window on your screen. Yeah. Now we will add a boreholes first. So we just go to add to 3D, drill hole, drill holes. Then in the data set we need to add a geology so that we can see the geology also with respect to the boreholes. Okay. Or simply go if you have a topography clip, that is okay. So now okay, there is no file says us. So here again now you can see the borehole with the topography in 3D view, and you can see it is very freely rotatable. Now whatever geostring we created in the cross section, that we need to import. So go to geostring, we need to select that geostring file. So here I just created one for an example. You can see this is how I created the section geostring file basically. So that we need to draw for each and every cross section, and we need to add it like this. Here I am removing it. Geostring. So here you can see the number of geostrings, that green color iron ore formation, and that is the fault line also there. Now we can do wireframing here. So you go to the geosurface, start wireframing. Now first I will wireframe to the fault. So select fault here. Then you can see the fault is highlighted in yellow color. Now we have to add with adjacent lines only. If you just select it, so it will be joined automatically. So this is for fault. Now we will do the same for overburden. Like this. So this is how we can create a 3D model. It should be smooth, so very smoothness. Now the same thing I do for iron ore formation. So here is the our geological skill is very important, and how you know your subsurface or surface geology. So here if I'm getting a pinch and swell body or a different ore body or continuity where it is getting pinching and swelling or bifurcating, so that here we have to draw accordingly or we have to connect accordingly. So here wise you can see I can use, like, if I think this is the way it is, I think so accordingly we can draw like this. Then I need to add another. So here I can display the things accordingly and join it. Now if I add another body here, because this and this is separate one, because so here that way I have to look all the direction wise. So this might be a different. Just select the yellow surface and you can see your body, and here you can draw like this. So accordingly we need to draw a 3D model of that geology. So that is implicit modeling throughout, and whatever geosurface we are created here, we need to save it as a geosurface, and that geosurface gives us a volume that I will show you. So this is how we can do the wireframing and created a 3D geological model as per our own interpretation, because the way I created the section, the same I can display here in my 3D view. Then I need to join one another. Now we will add a geosurface which is already created here. So now you can see the perfect ore body with respect to fault. So this is how we can create the 3D geological model by our own interpretation. Now you can, if you want to check the volume, so you just select here for iron ore formation and you can check the property. You can see the volume as well as area. So that volume you can multiply with your specific gravity of particular mineral, you can get the ore mineral resource. So this is how we can create a 3D geological model by implicit. Now we will go with the explicit one. So for the explicit, we need to create a voxel by kriging method. So here it will ask us channel to work. So we will select the gold, and by default scale size is 12. I will select the 5. So, and we have also a few more options, plunge, strike weight, that we need to check. You can check the variogram also with respect to spherical model, Gaussian model or exponential model. That is all geostatistical techniques. So accordingly your model will be created with respect to that kind of accuracy. So this is how the 3D voxel model is created, and the color range you can see here itself. You can see the data range 8.2 to 30. So here now we will clip the window by topography. So we'll clip it. So input voxel, it will be ask voxel, output clip one. Clip. Then if you have a grid file, you need to browse a topographical grid file here itself. So simply click OK. So now you can see the grid is topo clip. This is how you can clip the top. Then we can do the window voxel. So we can narrow down our voxel by using polygon file or by using XY ranges. So here I don't have polygon. I have no. So you can use the polygon file here and you can clip with respect to within your mining list boundary. So that is very helpful. And one more thing is that you can check the legends. So color wise you can edit it here according to the legend size and also a color tool here. So it should be normal distribution or user defined. So user defined, I need to here zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 10, zone 12. Accordingly I can select the zone with respect to my grade values, higher or lower. So accordingly with respect to 4 I can do that. So according to color wise I can check my model basically. So here we can do that. This is how we can create the voxel. The now and tools and settings, we can export that into 3D PDF. So you can easily visualize the things, and if you extract that particular horizontal slices, so that is also we can do, that is useful for the level plans. So we need to select only voxel and output name, and we have to just give an elevation increment. So like say 10 meter. So after each 10-meter increment, it will be create a floor plan accordingly. So this is how we can create the 3D model of explicit modeling. Now we will move towards the geochemistry quickly. Just so this is all about the reload data and geophysical data that we can process within the target by creating cross-section, plan maps, phase diagrams, steep diagrams, and 3D geological model. Here you can interpret your data in the 3D view so that you can take a better decision. So here this is the geochemistry data basically already. Now we will do first color channels using percent break. So with respect to 100% size, it will be cumulatively make up colors with respect to this zone 1, zone 2 again. Now this is how we can import the data, import the survey data, asset data, and merge and verify it. You can cross check here, you can extract the standard values and duplicates also, and you can create a, because in the presentation someone asked me about the anomalous map. So here you can create a map, you can scan the data, and next map name, geoc, scale it. Okay, you can see this is the blank map. Now we need to create a grid. So for that, database should be open, and then go to grid, minimum curvature. Now here we will use the figure. That will be the best for the. So I want for copper or for cobalt, let's say. So cobalt creek. Okay, now we can create the, this is the cobalt map. Now again map to base map. Base map. Map. Okay. Next. Next. This is the base map. This is, and now simply grid an image, display on map, grid. Need to select that cobalt, shadow, color, current map. Will ask for the location. So locate here. Okay. Now you can see the, this is the cobalt map, and this is the values of cobalt basically from 1.2 to 7. That here, this is how you can by using cat tools you can pick up the anomalous zone, and on that basis you can create a anomalous map. I hope what is the name of that person? Hello, uh, Mr. Ajay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, can you hear me? Am I clear with respect to your anomalous map?
Yeah, at least we can route some anomalous map based on certain elemental, data. So at least we can generate.
Your voice is breaking,
Yeah,
Sanjay.
it is clear.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Thank you.
so this is how we can create geochemical maps. Then we can do some analysis here quickly. So histogram analysis, you can create a histogram here itself. So this is for beryllium, this is for cobalt. You can see the value, and here you can select so that same histogram you can plot on your current map. Just locate here, locate it lower left corner here. You simply okay. You can see that histogram here that you can move. So accordingly you can display the things. You can do the analysis. Similarly, you can do the correlation. So correlation is helpful uh, with respect to which element is strongly correlate with other elements. Here I will show you the example. Just for example, we'll check the correlation between alumina, cobalt, oh sorry, aluminum, cobalt, chromium, copper, Fe, uh, Mg, Mn, molybdenum, Pb. We'll see which element is correlate strongly correlate to other element. So it will be create a correlation plot basically. So accordingly, you can I think you may get you will get the at least a brief idea for which mineralization you are looking for within your area. Uh, just a minute. So here, as you can see the figure, the pink one is strongly correlated, like magnesium, no, magnesium, and the Mn is strongly correlated, Mg and Mn, and this pink color basically Fe and Mn is also strongly correlated. You can see the percentage of their correlation with respect to Mg. So if I start with Al, alumina, cobalt, and chromium, so that percentage you can see visualize, and you can see the graph also, that is the scattered plot basically. So how the element is variable within your area, that also you can easily uh, point out. So this is the assay correlation basically. Okay, now same time, now we can do the multiple histogram also. So you can create multi histogram at quick. So you just select the elements, let's see this, you can see, or you can select all together. So it's having a very large element, that's why you can see this is the multi histogram. Similarly, we can create a scattered plot, multi plot, and the tri plot, which is very important one. So here are the some categories. So like for diamond exploration, we must have some template like garnet. So I think FEO element must be there. So if I select a zone or cobalt, say okay, yeah. So accordingly, cobalt element within that particular garnet plot, where I can get the higher values with respect to lower. So that garnet triangulation plot like MgO, FeO and COO, I can easily find out. Similarly, like the person asked me with respect to the tectonic settings, we can do the, we need to just add here the categories. I will show you here. Here you can add, or you can select your particular element. So accordingly you can create or you need to create a template like this garnet or alumina, or with respect to different metal composition. So accordingly you can get, I think I don't have a data with respect to that. So accordingly you can get that triplot analysis. Then principal component analysis, it will gives you a report, and if you the box plot, here you can create a box plot also. So box plot for cobalt, let's say. So categorization channel should be chromium. So these are the utilities basically you can use. You can normalize the data. Not clear. I didn't put the lithology here. Cobalt categorization is lithology. Okay. So accordingly you can create a box plot here. You can see which lithology that cobalt value is there. So that kind of thing you can do in the geochemistry. So that's it in the target. Thank you very much for listening very patiently. Now the question answer is open, so you can ask question with respect to this presentation or geology or software. We will be happy to answer you. Yeah, is there any other questions? Please feel free to ask.
Sir,
Yeah.
as I have listened to your
Sir,
presentation.
your voice is
Hello, this is Ajay.
breaking.
This is Ajay.
Yeah, voice is breaking. Yeah, I can hear you, but it break.
Is it breaking?
Please check your network connectivity. Yeah. Please go on.
Now is it okay?
Yeah.
Am I audible to you, sir?
Yes.
So I was listening to your presentation since last 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
Right.
definitely, I think GeoSoft Target is a big software. There are immense utilization, lot of utilization of this GeoSoft Target in geology as well as geophysics. So I
Okay, Mr.
think these 2 hours are not enough. But from these 2 hours, what I came to know
Yeah.
is there are particularly three things. One is surface mapping, one is drill hole data, and one is drill hole plots.
Yeah.
So from surface mapping, I think we can generate some geophysical maps like magnetic maps, gravity maps, seismic maps, or there are a lot of
Depend
geophysical
upon sir
methods
your
based
data,
on.
you can generate the map.
Yeah, so it is included in surface mapping. Okay.
Yeah.
Second is DH data, that is drill
Yeah.
hole data. So based on the drill hole data, whatever drill hole data I am having of any region, of any
Yes.
commodity,
Yes.
I can
Yes.
generate the different drill hole maps based on data.
Yeah. And
Then
you
I
can
can
create the
detect,
model also.
yeah, 2D
Yeah.
model, 3D model. There are number of features. So one
Yeah.
interesting feature is that geostring feature.
Yeah.
So it seems to me it's really very important feature in GeoSoft targets. But for this, definitely a good knowledge of geology and geophysics we should have, or one should have.
Yeah.
So
Surely.
it is definitely depends on the person to persons. More the data, more the knowledge, more the utilization of the software. So, like in during your presentation, you have shown one slide where you just, I mean,
Which
the
one? Some.
different what I can say is overburden. So you just remove the overburden, or you just highlight the overburden. In the same way, you just highlight the um, iron ore formation in geos.
Yes.
Why geos?
Right.
So one first you highlight the overburden, then you highlight the iron ore formation. Similarly, can we highlight the different mineralized zone? Like within this
Yeah.
iron ore formation, there are
Yes.
number of rocks, and our
Yes.
mineralization, whether it is gold, whether it is manganese, or whether it is copper, our
Yeah.
mineralization is, I mean, within the particular rock, say for example, ultramafic rocks, say for
Yes.
example, mafic rocks, or any
Yes.
other metamorphic rocks or igneous rocks. Any rock can host it any mineralization. So in my
Right.
area, if there is a manganese bearing phyllite, just
Yeah.
an example, there is a
Yeah. Right.
manganese bearing phyllite. Within this manganese bearing phyllite, some parts are having manganese.
Yeah.
So can I differentiate this manganese bearing formation separately and this manganese zone separately?
Yes. See
Okay.
the if my screen is visible to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like you said, you have manganese bearing phyllite. So you can see the lithology with the borehole wise lithology. So you can see where you can get the phyllites, right?
Hmm.
So at the same time, you if you having some sample data which is analysis for manganese, so you can see the manganese value. So accordingly, you can just draw manganese bodies within that phyllite. So likewise here you can draw. So likewise, you can create your own model with respect to that particular body. So that is the model will be created for manganese ore body. But if you want to create a lithological model, so that model will be different. So that will be only with the phyllite. But when you want to represent both the model, then you can add that both the data together differently with the different colors, because when you visualize that whole thing in the 3D view, so you can easily identify that this is my phyllite and this is my manganese. So that thing you can definitely visualize in 3D view. You can differentiate. But only thing is that you need to create one model for with respect to lithological data and one model with respect to your mineralization. Whether it is manganese, whether it is iron, that is different thing. So that kind of thing you can do here. Only thing is that you have to go with different processes.
Okay, after delineation of this mineralized zone, the next step is the resource estimation. So can we do these things in geosub target also?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, the only sir, the thing is that if you digitize think cross section in a very carefully with respect to only mineralization zone, so only that thing will be displayed in your 3D. Okay, so
Okay.
and these things only gives you, so here as we import the that is iron ore formation, you as you remember, I will show it once again. So here, so this is my iron ore formation in the green color, as you can see. So this is I created by creating by correlation in the cross section. So when I check the properties, you can see the volume here. Okay, so that volume you can use to multiply with your specific density of that particular mineral, and it will give you a tonnage, a resource. Am I clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is there any question from anybody? Yeah, okay. I again request you. You can find a feedback link in your chat box. Please provide us feedback, and if you want a PPT link or demo, please mention in the feedback form. We will get back to you.